A town is full of buildings, some tall, some short, some wide, and some narrow. The buildings are flats and houses and factories and shops. They're built in streets. The streets have cars and buses and lorries driving along them. The cars and buses and the streets are full of people. In fact, there are a lot of people in a town. Do you live in a town? Mary, Mungo, and Midge live in this town. They live with Mary's mother and father in this tall block of flats. They live right at the top. There are 8 flats built on top of each other. Mary, Mungo, and Midge live in the flat with the flowers growing in the window box. There's Mary. There's Mungo. And there's Midge. Mary, Mungo, and Midge have a large sunny room to play in. A room full of games, picture books, and toys. But today they've gone outside to the park. They've gone to the children's playground. Mary is having a swing. Mungo is sliding down the chute.
That was good, Mungo. Go on, do it again.
Midge is sitting on the seesaw. He's brought his flute with him. Midge likes music so much that he's learnt to play a flute. But he can only play one tune. I think he's ready to start.
Hold tight, Midge. Mungo and I will give you a seesaw.
Ooh, look at those big things going along the road. They're gypsy caravans. They're being pulled by lorries and cars. And look, there are more of them over there. The gypsies who live in them paint patterns in bright colours on their caravans. But if the caravans move along the road, how can people live in them? Gypsies are people who travel around from place to place. When they stop, they live in the caravans like people live in houses or flats. Then they drive off to the next place. Why?
These gypsies own a fair. They're going to put the fair up for a few days here, then they'll move it away to another town for a few days, and then to another town for a few days.
What's a fair? A fair has swings and roundabouts. Like the swings in this park?
Yes, but bigger. We're going to the fair tomorrow. You'll see it then.
Oh, how exciting! The next day, Mary's mother and father took Mary, Mungo, and Midge to the fair. It was very noisy, and there were people everywhere. Midge had never seen so many people in all his life. They had another look at the gypsy caravans. Most of the gypsies who lived in them were busy looking after the swings and sideshows at their fair. The swings were much larger than the ones in the park. They had a look at the roundabouts. There was a large one for grown-ups. It had horses to sit on, and it played music as it went round and round. Midge liked the music, There was a smaller roundabout too. Instead of horses, it had cars and funny-looking ducks. Midge was very excited and very interested. Mary had a ride on a duck. Then they looked at the bumper cars. They were called bumper cars because they were made to bump into each other. Mary's father took her for a ride in a bumper car. Animals weren't allowed on, so Mungo and Midge watched Mary enjoying herself. Midge heard a man calling out, "Roll up, roll up, roll and bowl a ball a penny a pitch. Roll up, roll up, roll and bowl a ball a penny a pitch." Midge wanted to know what the man meant. He saw some brown things on tall stands. He watched a boy throwing a ball at them. Midge had to find out what they were. "Mind the balls, Midge. It's a coconut. The boy's trying to knock it off." Midge got away just in time, because with his next throw, the boy knocked the coconut off the stand. Then Midge thought he ought to find Mary and Mungo. But there were so many people at the fair. Midge ran in and out through their feet, and none of the feet belonged to Mary or to Mungo. Mungo was having a game trying to roll a ball into a hole. There were 3 holes. Missed. Try again, Mungo. He's done it. Mungo's really getting very good at this game. Once more, Mungo. Good. Midge was still looking for Mary and Mungo, but still he couldn't see them anywhere. Then he saw another man, a very big man, shouting,
"Test your strength, boys and girls. Have a bash with the hammer and see if you can ring the bell."
Midge stood in the grass and watched. It was very interesting. Every time someone hit the machine with the hammer, a block of wood shot up towards the bell, which was at the top of the machine.
"Come on, try your strength,"
said the man. And while he was talking, Midge jumped onto the block of wood. A boy took the hammer. Every time he hit with it, up went Midge on the block of wood, and down again. It was great fun. It was just like being in the lift at home, only much faster.
"No one's strong enough to ring the bell,"
said the man.
"I'll show you how to do it."
Midge looked up. Then he saw that if the block of wood hit the bell, he would get squashed. He jumped off. Oh, just in time. Midge was all right, but he still couldn't find Mungo and Mary. He looked on the swings. He looked on the roundabout. He looked at the bumper cars. He heard someone calling out, "Hot dogs! Hot dogs! Hot dogs with mustard!" Thought Midge. Mungo's a dog, but he's not a hot dog, and he doesn't like mustard. Then Midge saw that the hot dogs were really sausages in bread rolls. They smelt so good it made Midge feel quite hungry. But he was no nearer finding Mungo or Mary. Midge looked at the next stall. It was called a hoopla stall. There were lots of things standing on a shelf. there were bottles and bowls. And in the bowls there were goldfish. One of them swam over to look at Midge. "I've lost my dog. Have you seen him, please?" But the goldfish said nothing. Midge didn't know the goldfish were prizes, and that Mary was trying to win one. She had to throw a hoop, and if it landed over the bowl, she won a goldfish. Try again, Mary. Better luck next time. There, you won a prize. You won Midge.
You're the best prize I've ever had, Midge. We thought we'd lost you.
Midge always turns up in the end.
Just in time. We've got to go soon.
So they had a last look round the fairground. Then it was time to go home. They soon got back to the block of flats where they live. Mary went with her parents to put the car away. They told Mungo and Midge to go up together in the lift. When Mary got back to the playroom, Mungo was eating his supper. But Midge was far too excited to eat anything. He was pretending he was still at the hoopla stall. "I've won! I've won! I've won Mungo as a prize!"
Midge, behave yourself. You must never disturb a dog when he's eating. And you're not at the fair now.
Thank you, Mary.
But we can still see the fair from the window. Look. Tomorrow morning, the gypsies and the fair will all be gone. But never mind. I expect they'll come back again. Next year.